every once in a while, I have the opportunity to share with you guys a bunch of really cool watches all at the same time. I'm going to highlight the Seiko Willards because I have a decent amount of them here. There is a lot more out there for sure. So just like I did the turtle video and the monster video and everything like that, I figured I would just do the Willard video to show how versatile that particular model is with its colorways, because you can range from pretty traditional looking like this guy, or even more so like this guy here, all the way up to the a little bit more unique and extreme like this guy. So big thanks to my buddy in Texas, you know who you are, for allowing me to have access to all of these to share with you guys. There is, of course, like I said, many more Willards out there, as well as very limited editions and even some high-end models with the 8L movement. So, and those are a little bit different case size and shape, but it's still a Willard, right? These ones I think are going to be your sweet spot. All of these ones with the 6R movement in it. Also a sweet spot with the price point, because even if you look at the tags on them, the retail prices, that one doesn't have it, but this one does. The retail prices are around $1,400, but expect to pay, you know, somewhere, depending on where you're buying it, how you're buying it, I would say expect to pay roughly $1,200-ish, something like that. Now, if you go on the pre-owned market, I think you can find some incredible deals on used ones. You can probably land yourself in the maybe $750 to $900 range. I wouldn't expect to get them much less than that. I think the Willards pretty much hold their value pretty good. Here's a blue one. This is the SPB 183, and this one was $1,400. Some of these are going to be special, some are limited. They're on the case backs, usually labeled. I personally, as good as all of those are, I still like one of the earlier releases from the Seiko Willard lineup, just this green colorway. And I don't believe this one ever came on bracelet, so it had this silicone strap, but you could always pick up a bracelet, as well as there's some good aftermarket options. I think the Willard is a pretty versatile watch when it comes to its accessories. So I can't also help but point out, I think Seiko has to be my favorite brand. I'm going to show you why. For one, I like divers. A lot of you guys like the dive watches. And I can't think of any other brand that gives us the variety and fairly high level of execution when they produce them than Seiko. Seiko does it, I think, better than anyone else. They even had, I mean, the fans, the watch enthusiasts have named these. This one's called the Spork because it's kind of like an aviation dial, but with a dive bezel. So the Willard is a reissue. You have the Shogun. This thing is all titanium, super lightweight. And they're all pretty affordable price points. I don't know, this one's in yen, but I think this was around $1,300, $1,400, something like that. You know, if you go back a ways, of course, you can always go all the way back and pick up a Seiko SKX. Perhaps you've had one. They're a little more difficult to find now, but still a classic, iconic watch. And then the Turtles. The Turtles have nearly an infinite amount of options as far as whether it's a more basic, more traditional looking one, or a very hard to get one like this, right? So this is a limited edition. They only made 500 of these. So this is, when it comes to Seiko, these are extremely rare. So this is the SRPD 48. A lot of people probably don't even know this one exists. So they have stuff like that in their lineup, right? You have your Patty variants, whether it's the Turtle. I don't think there's a Patty Willard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you definitely have the Turtles, and you have the a few other models as well as this one, the Samurai, which is the King Samurai. So pretty cool to have that. Again, if you go back a ways, some really good models in the Seiko Monster lineup, as well as what we have dubbed the MM200. And then of course you have, like, this one's more of the full size one, and then you have the smaller one, or the MM200 reduced, as well as even with the Samurai you have a little bit smaller version that's kind of the same. So you have different sizes, all that are very similar case shapes, and different price points, different movements, different colorways, limited editions. They're just crushing it. So, and yeah, although I'm highlighting the Willard on this one, you know, then you have the Sumo, right? I don't hear too much talk about the Sumo lately, and this is still a classic, iconic, great diver from Seiko for sure. So let me put on one of these, I guess. This one doesn't look like it's ever been put on a wrist. Let me put this one on. So you can see what the Willard looks like on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. I've shown it many times before. It's just that classic clean cushion case, very comfortable. It works on all wrist size. It has a more short lug to lug, if you will, that really aids in comfort with a smaller wrist. You can put it on a strap. It'll make it even more comfortable potentially, although the bracelet is pretty good. The offset crown, the integrated crown guards, all of those things are just classic Seiko, and I just love everything about them. I could easily find myself in a trap of just buying a bunch of Seiko divers. I've done it in the past. Let's be honest, I'll probably do it again in the future because I'm tempted now. I get the opportunity to handle all these, and I get all excited. I'm like, I got to show people, I got to show you guys the variety and how cool it is when you start to see them all by each other. And it makes it extremely difficult to really narrow down and pick one. So, and then it would be nice if I could just pick maybe one of each model. But what often happens is you kind of lock in on a couple of favorite models, and then you end up with a few different colorways of that particular model. So instead of having like one Turtle, one Willard, one Samurai, one Shogun, one Sumo, one MM200, one Monster, and spread it out like that and have that variety of model, we end up buying, 10 Willards or 15 Turtles or, 40 Monsters. So it happens to the best of us. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you buy them, focus on getting a good deal, and you tend to focus more on the limited edition models, I think even on the flip, you'll still do okay. There's still that flipper tax, we call it, like you're still going to lose a little bit of the money, but you gain the enjoyment of owning it. So, and that brings up another point. If you're going to buy these, wear them. Sure, there's collectors out there that they just archive these, and it's, they just want to look at them. They don't want to like tarnish them. That's fine. I think a few of us out there doing that is fine, because later on it'll pay off for us enthusiasts, and we can still access like new old stock, like watches like we have here. But overall, I think the most people that are buying these, I think the best recommendation is to actually wear these. The other reason Seiko divers are so epically cool is because of this. The lume on them is incredible. And in some cases you get multiple colors, like this one here, you have multiple colors. Oftentimes in the Patty variants, you'll have multiple colors, although I don't think the Samurai does. Does it? No, it's single. Sometimes the Patty ones have like the green and the blue, but that one definitely had it. But most of these are green. So thanks for watching. I know I didn't cover like size details and prices and everything like that to great detail, but just like to share all of these all at once. I'll see you on the next vid. Seiko's the best.